couple of comments on something we were talking about earlier. There's some cars in Seattle. They're Mazdas. We mentioned this, that are stuck on NPR. Their radios are stuck on NPR, and you cannot change from it. You're listening to NPR, period, if you're in one of these Mazdas. Affected between 2014 and 2017 in Seattle. So a P1, Sean, says, it's funny you mentioned the Mazda issue. There is a known issue with Mazda infotainment systems where they will get stuck in a perpetual reboot. So whatever station you're on, you cannot change the station. You are going to have that station, and you can't go to attached devices, navigation, nothing like that. It's always on the radio, and it's always on.
So even if you have, like, you could plug your phone into your
that's not working.
That won't work.
No, that's not working in these Mazdas in Seattle. You can't do that. He says this happened in my car 2 weeks ago. My system was stuck on your program, so I sold the car. Well, who can blame you?
I pushed it into a rock quarry.
Right.
I got out.
Right.
That's always concerning with those.
You dive out before it goes over the cliff.
Right before you.
Just before it goes out. I can't listen to this anymore. Right. That's
with
just
those systems with the big screen in the middle, which a lot of people have
now. Yeah.
Kelly may not, but most of them have that where it's got the screen. And it's just a computer. I mean, and you know how your computer does at home or your phone or whatever.
It freezes up.
They're going to get stuck. You can't push it to change the heat, much less change the radio station.
Is there a reboot button on some of those big systems?
Yeah, but it costs $500 probably to get it done.
To get a reboot?
I'll bet.
You can't just hit like restart. Reset.
Where?
I don't know.
There's not like a factory reset?
If the screen doesn't react, where do you go push it?
Well, again,
Is it in the owner's manual?
It's not my.
Well, I know you don't.
That's
not your area of expertise.
I prefer the old nuts and bolts.
All you have to do is bang on it.
That's right. You start hitting
one big knob for volume, one big for tuning.
Which is what Darlene says. And this is about our Honda Odyssey that is stuck in the past. 02. Every time you turn the vehicle on, the clock says, welcome to January 1st, 2002, 10:15 a.m. So I said I would like to go past midnight to see if that fixes the problem, but that's 14 hours that the car has to stay on. Because if you turn it off, it goes back. So Darlene says, I think you should run your van for 14 consecutive hours driving west across the country. And she says, I know it's not totally recommended, but all you have to do is keep the car running while you get gas. So you pull off, you get gas while it's running.
Risky.
A little dangerous.
A little bit. She says, I know.
I mean, there's a reason NASCAR guys wear fire suits.
Well, she says.
When they put gas into a running car.
There are people that do it.
Oh, man. And what a way for you to go. We'd be at your funeral like, well, he was just, I don't even want to tell you what he was doing.
Something about a clock.
How did he pass? He was, I don't know.
Blew up.
Embarrassing.
That would be embarrassing. Why was he driving west?
Putting gas in St. Louis in his car.
Yeah.
So stupid to try to drive 14 hours
to prove a point to Honda.
I'd go 7 west and then 7 back east and stop and get gas, but leave it running. And Darlene says she leaves the car running while pumping gas when it's freezing cold outside, and then she puts it in the car.
Darlene,
you can't do that. That's risky.
She says it's risky. She says, but she says I ain't exploded yet.
We can't argue with the results. We used to have a car. My dad, when he was working for the state of Virginia, he bought and this angered my mom. Maybe one of the worst things he ever did. He spent like $200 and bought a former state police car.
Really?
At auction.
He wanted the
they were junking it.
Yeah.
And it was trash. But if it worked, if everything was right, all the conditions are right, the weather was right, the humidity was right, it could fly. It could do 90 miles an hour easy because it was a state trooper car.
Well, yeah.
But once you shut it off, you had a 10% chance of it starting back up.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So we would have to go to the gas station and leave it running.
You got to keep it running. I feel like my dad left it running a lot of times in the old days.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking a cigarette.
I do.
The government telling me what to do.
I feel like. Right. He wouldn't wear a seatbelt either. When the seatbelt law first came out.
I'm not being told what to do. That's right.
Do you know what I read today was what percentage of people do you think in America now do not wear a seatbelt? I just read the stat today. It's America Inside the Numbers. What percentage of people don't wear a seatbelt ever? They refuse to put their seatbelt on still.
I don't think it's real high that don't wear. I would say 80% do.
Higher, 90% do. 10% don't. 10% refuse to ever wear a seatbelt.
That's still higher than I expected.
Me too. I thought it was going to be like 3 or 4. because the seat. Now I remember when the seatbelt law here came into effect. I was little, I was young, but my mother was like, "Nobody's telling me that I'm wearing a seatbelt."
Yeah.
But of course, after
And there were all the workarounds you could do in the olden
Yes,
days.
yes.
For instance, buckling the belt and then sitting on it.
that's right.
Which is more of a pain in the ass than actually putting it on.
Well, then you just shove it into the seat. That's what we did with our Ford Maverick.
You smash them down in.
Because there were no shoulder belts in my day.
That's right.
That's right. They were just laps.
We were lap belt only. And my mother said, "I'm not going to do it. It'll cut me in half."
Yeah.
She said it cut me in half in a crash. And
I'd rather take my chances flying through the windshield.
that's what she said. But
That was the thinking.
that's right.
But most came around
Within a couple of years, my father always wore it after that.
because they were enforcing it in a lot of places.
Yeah, they
You were
were.
getting pulled, and it wasn't a moving violation, but you had a $70 ticket.
It's true, and it was a big deal. And I've always, worn. Since then, I've always worn the seatbelt. I mean, it's just.
I would
a
think
second
it's probably
nature.
more in rural areas, don't you? That folks don't wear
You
it. In the
don't.
big city, I mean, they're looking.
You'll get caught doing it.
Does it ever happen with cameras that they can catch you? If they catch you with a camera and you don't have it on, they can get you that way.
I don't know if they enforce that or
I mean,
not.
like a speed camera?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
if they happen to, see you like that
Send
sounds
you-
like something California would do.
send you a $25 ticket.
Yep.
Oh yeah, California. So
Still channeling your dad, I see. Yeah. Nuts and flakes.
California.
All right.
yeah, it does seem like something they do in
Big, are
Cal-
you a seatbelt wearer?
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad that you are able to wear your seatbelt. I think that's terrific.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is where I was supposed to be fat and be like, okay, wear seatbelt because they're fat.
I didn't want to.
I really thought
I didn't want
had
to
that on my
say that.
script.
What I said, that's why we took such a long pause. We just assumed the answer would be no. I was moving on to the next thing.
stuffed in the back head. I can't wear a seatbelt.
I am so sorry to make that assumption about you. My best friend.
Don't worry, if I go rolling, I'll stay stuffed in the car like an avocado.
I want to apologize.
Yeah, you don't.
I want to apologize. What an awkward silence
Wasn't it?
after we asked you if you wore your. Now let me ask you this question: do you have an extender? Is that
Yeah.
what you do? Have an extender, and so it's like one plugs into the other, and then you plug back in. Like on planes, they offer an extender
Yeah.
to customers of size.
They do.
Was that an add-on, or did it come standard with the vehicle?
No, that doesn't come standard. I mean,
Okay,
you
just
have to buy that
Okay,
extra.
okay, all right.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean,
right.
believe me, they'll still give me a ticket.
If you're not wearing a
Yeah,
seatbelt,
because I didn't wear a seatbelt for a long time.
I didn't think you did in your truck.
Yeah, and they're like, no, you have to put
Just
something
put it
on
on.
your
You
belt.
had to
Yeah,
get
there's
one.
ways, and I was like, fine.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Then I want to apologize for the three of us for that awkward.
No, you don't.
Of that awkward pause. Here I was moving on to the next thing. I just assumed he was going to say, "Yeah, I can't wear a seatbelt," so we were just getting ready to get into it, then couldn't.
Right.
Here he goes. Good for you. Thank God you're protected.
for you.
You're
It's
protected.
not five.
No, he's protected.
Biggie aired it out yesterday.
Protected a vehicle.
He made a climate error.
It was.
It was a lot warmer than I was expecting.
It was over 50,
especially.
It was over 50 degrees.
A rarity.
And he emergency aired out.
Kristen, we were just talking about Biggie airing it. When Biggie goes to his car, he starts it
I think,
before he.
in the summertime for sure.
We all know that. He starts it before he gets out there. In the summer, he has to air it out. He has to open the door, put one foot up, like on the
Air out his undercarriage.
airing out. What did you call it yesterday?
The man zone?
The man zone
The taint?
was being aired out. And
Yeah.
yesterday, I guess it was unusually warm for this time of year, and he aired it out. So Kristen warned everybody in the building, not a test. Biggie is airing it out, which he did yesterday.
One arm on the roof, one like
Yeah.
Captain Morgan.
Very surprised. Yeah. Yes. That's the most interesting man in the world was out there. Yeah, you're
Put a
right.
little captain in you.
That's right. Medway High School principal John Murray took a basketball shot from half court. This happened in Medway, Massachusetts. And it happened at halftime of the Medway Dover girls basketball game earlier this week. Both principals took part in what they call halftime shenanigans. And Murray, the principal, made the half court shot. So they're calling.
Did everybody get French fries or
Yeah,
anything? that night?
everybody got like a free
little prize.
because he made the half court shot. And he said it's so great because we're trying to get people back in the building and students are back and it just makes for more fun. And he's like, we just want to have this feeling of camaraderie together. So the local news covers it. They go out and the reporter, to end his piece, as you would expect, he's standing right there at the half court line. He turns to shoot the shot. and he makes the half-court shot.
I can't believe you're all still.
Oh,
It's something we hope we can capitalize on and have shenanigans more often, get more kids involved, coming to our games, having some fun, and build towards some normalcy in the spring.
In Medway, Matt Reed, WCVB News Center 5.
that's the shot going in.
Yeah.
And look at him walk off so smooth.
Like nothing.
That was good.
How many times did Matt Reed practice that
That's
one?
the question. Dr. Murray, though, major props to you. That was amazing.
Oh, he has some real street cred now.
That's right.
Dr. Murray made the shot. He's talking
So
about
did Matt Reed.
And Matt Reed made the
camera.
shot. And he was wearing Uggs. I noticed that he was wearing Ugg boots at the half court, and he still made the half court shot.
Well, Tommy wears them up there. He used to wear them in Massachusetts.
That's right. That's right. Do you think it took a? How many takes did it take for him to make the shot?
In Ugg boots?
Yeah.
1,000.
You ever make a half court shot? I think I've done it
Yeah.
never shot it, but I've thrown it like a baseball or throw it like a football.
Made a few half courts just for fun, a couple
right?
here and there. Yeah.
You got to give it a good heave.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
There were times when I was a little kid, I went and saw the Harlem Globetrotters, and before the show started, they were just kind of doing a shoot around. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys, I don't know if it was Geese or Meadowlark, would just stand in the corner of the half court line, like where the scorer's table would be.
Yes.
And he'd stand in that corner and just flick them in, shot after shot after
shot.
shot from half court, just draining them.
It's incredible.
Those guys still blew my mind.
Yeah.
Seeing the Harlem Globetrotters as a kid, there's nothing better.
Nothing.
It's unreal.
Because you can sort of play basketball as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sort of know how to dribble.
You think, why are these guys not a team in the NBA
I know.
and win every year?
Exactly. You know what my father always said? Traveling. We don't call it traveling. Double dribble.
That guy's got a ladder.
We'd go out.
He was the only one there with a general shirt on.
We were always, yes. That's where he taught me. I cheered for the Generals.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules.
There's no confetti bucket.
We went to see him about 3 times, and every time, like Curly Neal or somebody, he'd go, call it both ways, ref, traveling. That's backcourt. He'd do a lot of that.
Shot clock violation.
Violation.
Sitting down next to you, I'm starting to think the ref is in on it.
I'm telling you.
You can't sit on the backboard like that.
My father wouldn't take that. He was he was a person who...
That's where you get it from.
That's where I get it. We're rules people.
Yeah.
That's why I've never been a Globetrotter man. Always went Generals.
Generals or Nationals.
Or Nats, and I wish I had been at one of the 3 games they have ever won. If I had been at one of those games, that would have been... I think the first time they ever beat them, it was by mistake.
Were the kids leaving in tears those
probably
when the Globetrotters lost?
The Generals beat them. I read this fact that they beat them by mistake one time, and the Globetrotters were like, what are you doing, man? Like somebody made a shot he wasn't supposed to make at the end of the game. Beat him by
Dude,
one.
you're getting paid to get beat.
Yeah.
I mean, really. That was a hero, the guy who made the half-court shot. The 0 is a doctor... His name. He was on a Zoom call. He was trying to help a woman named Christine McGee. She has filled out a complaint with the medical board because he didn't like what she was wearing when she went onto Zoom for her medical review. She was trying to get something done via the screen. Now, Biggie, you've done those calls with doctors where you're on a video screen.
It's very common now.
She says she was at home and in the privacy of her own home. He says, no, you're in a public place, and he didn't like what she was wearing. So this is the woman talking about
The
it.
doctor said, if you're not in a private place or covered up, I cannot speak to you. And I said, no, I'm at home. I'm in a private place and I am covered up. That's when he proceeded to ask me if I would go out in public dressed the way that I was. And I said, as a woman, it's my right to dress however I want, and maybe I shouldn't be speaking to someone who pushes those values or concerns on a patient when they're seeking medical advice, and that's when he hung up on me while I was still speaking.
She was wearing a skimpy outfit, and he said, you're not going to have to disrobe for this, so you need to be dressed more professionally for me to see you. But if you're in your house, and he's a doctor, he sees everything. Eventually he's going to see everything. So he was upset with what she was wearing at home. And usually you'd think I'd be on the side of the doctor on this, but I'm not. I feel like she should.
You're Johnny Rules.
I am Johnny Rules, but I mean, what's the rule? Do you ever?
There are none at the moment.
If you're at your own home, what is the rule? And since he's a doctor, he sees it all.
I guess
he didn't like what.
Where's the line? I mean,
oh, I see.
What if she's wearing lingerie with
tube top?
A tube top with maybe some of those little garter belts.
Okay,
and
I see what you're saying.
Preferably in white or black.
Okay,
that's just me.
Can you stand up and turn around for me?
I see what you're saying.
Can you twerk?
See, I felt like it would be a full body massage. examination where she would be taking everything off anyway. But that wasn't
I don't think you do that via Zoom, do you? Do you get naked on Zoom?
There's nothing physical.
No, it's normally just
a console.
I mean, you can show them skin or something if you need to, but it's mostly just
like I can move my arm like this.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess if you had like something on your chest, you could show them. But
what if you've got a rash like in the genital area?
I would think that's got to be in person.
You got to come in,
climb on the desk.
Okay, you're not going to straddle your camera.
Yeah. Is this normal? No.
None of this is normal.
No.
I see what you're saying. She went on. She says she's trying to get him his license suspended with the medical board.
I mean, there very well could be cultural feelings that someone has towards the way that someone is dressing, but as a medical professional, that's kind of something you have to check at the door.
And she's very, very
You've
upset.
never taken the side of anyone who sounds like that in your life.
I was very surprised I was on her side. When I started thinking, I was like, really? Am I on her side on this? I didn't realize, because I felt like you could do everything in front of the doctor on Zoom that you would regularly, but I guess not. Not in his...
I think if it's important, they'll bring you in.
You got to come in. If you need to see more than just, I can do my arm like this. That makes sense to me.
I guess doctors can pick who they want to see and not see, yeah.
Can they
it's private practice? It's called private practice.
So you can turn him down then. He's done nothing wrong, in other words.
I don't think he's going to get anything for this.
No.
She can report all she wants. I don't think she's got a leg to stand on.
Yeah. She says
that's why she called the doctor in the first place.
I have no leg.
I don't know. Ask Lisa. She'll know.
I might. That's a good one for tomorrow. Lawyer Up with Lisa Lanier, our official attorney. Another zero here today is a man who was found inside a woman's trunk, the trunk of her car. This is Vancouver, Canada. Woman named Bethany Coker found mud in the driver's seat of her car last week. Didn't know where it came from, so she was concerned. She often leaves the car unlocked, she says, in her driveway. And even at work, she'll leave it unlocked. Canada, you know? So she thought, I wonder if somebody slept in my car. She thought maybe a homeless guy slept in her car.
Yeah.
So she decided to start locking it, and she steam cleaned everything. Then 3 days later, she went to put something in her car in the trunk at work, and there was a guy in the trunk of her car.
There it is.
Naked.
I'm naked.
Naked, yes. She said when she opened the trunk, she goes, "Oh, hey."
Sorry, checkout time's 11, brother. Get out.
I got to turn this room.
Yep.
This is the exchange, actually.
Why are you in my trunk, and are you naked?
Yeah.
What?
It's a rite of passage.
To be... how did you get in there?
I'm the son of the Pope. Can I put my pants on? We'd appreciate that. Yeah,
So we have a guy with mental issues in the trunk of her car. She started filming immediately.
Yeah.
And called 911. It turns out he had been living in her car for at least 3 days.
Wow.
All that time. And he had gone from the passenger seat, the driver's seat, into the trunk, and still was able to get in and out of her car.
I think there would have been gunplay had that happened in the United States.
Yeah, it's a different...
I mean, just listen to that reaction.
I know. Hey, what are you doing in the trunk of my car?
It's a rite of passage. I mean, clearly he's just not all there.
And he's naked, too. And he's like, from the Pope and stuff like that. Of course he's not all there. Yeah. She called 911. She says the craziest part, she realized, I've been driving around doing errands with him in my trunk. And had no idea. Because the cops
passed out the whole time.
Well, the cop said he's been back there the whole time. Because once she started locking it, the only place he could go was the trunk, and he was in there for a while.
You couldn't bust through the seat. And, sometimes, depending on the model, you can go from the trunk into the cab of the car.
That's how he would have to get in and out, because he couldn't have stayed there for 3 days inside the trunk.
No, you have to make toilet.
Yeah, exactly. God, he may have made toilet inside the vehicle.
Yeah, he never took his clothes off.
Unbelievable.